The release of Wuthering Waves is close, and whether you are planning to play the game or are simply interested in an overview about what the game has to offer, this video is for you. We will cover nearly everything the game has to offer and talk about all the features present in the CBT2, all the ways to obtain pulls for your favorite characters, the ecosystem, dailies and weeklies, bosses, crafting and cooking, endgame content, the gacha system and much more. Grab yourself a tea or coffee, this will be a long video, well, at least for my standards. Settle in and let's talk about everything Wuthering Waves has to offer. While you explore the overworld, you will come across various chests, puzzles and title heritages. These are one-time rewards, which will not only grant you some Asterite, the premium currency of this game, but also these wood grain fragments. You can exchange these at the gift shop in Jinzhou, sorry if I butcher that name, for various goods such as pulls, tuners, XP materials or credits. Speaking of Jinzhou, Maki from the Pioneer Association will grant you some small rewards for exploring the world. You gain progress from various activities such as visiting new areas, solving puzzles, opening chests or simply doing quests. These rewards also include unlocking the portable waypoint at level 2, the casket scan function at level 3 and the loot mapper at level 4, which will allow you to search your nearby area for chests. But let's talk about the casket scan, or to be more specific, what caskets are even in the first place. Close to Maki, you will find the Relic merchant Chenpi. During your exploration, you will come across Sonance caskets. They are basically the equivalent to Genshin's Oculus, and you can trade them in for rewards, such as Asterite, pulls, Wavebands or breakthrough materials for your MC. Wavebands are basically this game's version of constellations. I will get back to breakthrough materials a bit later into the video. Let's continue with the crafting systems. In the northeast of Jinzhou, you can find the Synthesizer, which allows you to craft some HP recovery or revival items, portable waypoints or use lower level materials to craft higher level ones. These items are used for breakthroughs, ascensions and upgrades from weapons and skills. Furthermore, crafting items here will grant you proficiency, which increases your synthesis level, rewarding you again with some Asterite and XP materials. Uncle Wei's weapon franchise allows you to buy weapon breakthroughs and skill materials up to a certain limit every week for some shell credits, the currency used in Wuthering Waves. Since shell credits are easily obtained and farmable without spending stamina, this is certainly something to buy every week. Behind Wei, you can also craft yourself some weapons. However, while the 3-star weapons are easily craftable, the 4-star weapons require a high amount of materials and weapon molds, which you can either gain by defeating the Bellborn Calamity or guaranteed from the weekly boss. At Mahei's grocery store, you can buy materials for cooking. While you can farm a few in the overworld, some recipes require special items such as milk, which can only be obtained here. Speaking of cooking, various recipes allow you to create buff food, and here as well we have a proficiency level, which will again reward you with new recipes and some Asterite. Hanhua, the restaurant owner, here will also sell you a few new recipes to learn. And if you are ever out of materials and feel too lazy to search and collect them yourself, Koko at the pharmacy also allows you to buy common herbs and weeds. To finish off Jinzhou, we have the simulation training, where you can spend your Waveplates, which is basically your stamina, for various XP materials or shell credits, which is a great segue to Waveplates. So you can hold a maximum of 240 of them, and they restore 1 every 6 minutes. You can either use 1 crystal solvent or Asterite to replenish 60 Waveplates. Waveplate refreshes can be done a maximum of 6 times a day if you are using Asterite. So let's talk about all the possible ways of how you can spend them. Starting with Union level 10, you unlock the Overwold Bosses, such as the Crownless, you know, that tutorial boss. After defeating one of those, you can spend 60 Waveplates to gain their respective Resonator breakthrough materials, as well as their Echo, either by chance or guaranteed depending on your terminal level. Bosses do respawn every 5 minutes. Other ways to spend your Waveplates include clearing the Forgery challenges for various materials, costing you 40 Waveplates, or the weekly bosses, whose rewards you can only claim once a week for 60 Waveplates. Discord's Tacets are also a way to spend your Waveplates to obtain some echoes, but personally I highly advise against that, as overworld farming is way more efficient and does not cost you any Waveplates whatsoever in the first place. However, if they do change anything here and it does become worth it, I will let you know in a pinned comment. Again, this is based on CBT2. That being said, let's talk about what all these materials are used for. Well, mainly characters and weapons. Characters in Wuthering Waves are called Resonators. While you get Rover, Chixia and Yang Yang for free within the first minutes of the game, other characters are obtained through the Gacha System. More on that later. Actually, that is not entirely correct. You can also claim Yuan Wu for free after reaching a certain breakpoint in the Tower of Adversary, which is this game's equivalent of Genshin's Abyss. Leveling Resonator requires, well, Resonator experience materials, and leveling weapons, right, you guessed it, weapon experience materials. Reaching level 20, 40, 50, 60, 70 or 80 requires you to ascend the character to continue leveling them further. However, character and weapon ascensions are locked behind your Soul 3 phase and require breakthrough materials. If you are wondering what this ominous Soul 3 phase is, basically that is your world level. Every 10 union levels, your Soul 3 phase will increase by 1, but at union levels 20, 40 and 60, you will need to pass a trial to further increase the Soul 3 phase, as enemies will get significantly stronger at least. Many of them do not only gain more stats and HP, but also entirely new movesets. Ascending your characters will also unlock higher levels for your skills. However, you will still need to level them, which is what you need the skill materials for. Each level increases the skill's effectiveness by around 5%, which means the difference between level 1 and level 10 is about 50%, at least when speaking of damage. Again, this is based on CBT2 data, and also keep in mind, while 50% doesn't seem much at first glance, keep in mind it does scale with all your other stats. But in any case, the most damage you will gain comes from your weapons and echoes. Since I already have made an in-depth video about the ecosystem, you can click the link in the top right hand corner if you are interested in that. I will not go too deep into the system in this video. However, I do want to mention that they have decided to make various adjustments to the echoes, and I think that is great. The overall system is still the same, stats and rolls will be different, and there now will be a way to convert unenhanced echoes into new echoes. Also, thank God, a certain percent of tuners will be returned to you when using tuned echoes as fodder for others. Also, they will narrow down the stat roll changes, cause honestly they have been quite atrocious. Anyway. Echoes are obtained by killing enemies in the overworld. The best way to target specific echoes is using the tracking function, which will lead you one by one to every enemy in the world. Echoes come in 1, 3 and 4 costs, depending on the strength, and each echo can be between rank 2 and 5. To be honest, every echo that's not rank 5 you can throw away after some time, since the stats rank 5 echoes grant are just so much higher it's like not even close. This also means please save your resources and do not level rank 4 echoes past maybe level 6 or level 5. The maximum rank you can find in the overworld and reliably farm depends on your terminal level, which you level up by finding new echoes, and you gain data bank experience for each rank you find for the first time. Every terminal level will also increase your maximum stamina and grants you some Asterites. Rank 4 echoes are obtainable after level 8, and rank 5 echoes can be farmed after level 15. Regular enemies are classified as 1 cost, elite enemies are 3 cost, and overlord or calamity enemies are considered 4 cost. Characters have a loadout called cost, and the sum of all echoes equipped cannot be higher than said loadout, which is either 8, 10 or 12, again, depending on your terminal level. Raising your terminal level fast is hence one, if not the most important thing to do early into the game. The echo equipped in the topmost slot of any character will grant its unique echo ability for you to use. But again, if you want to know how exactly that works, I recommend you to have a look at my in-depth echo video. Let's talk about the weapons. Weapons follow the same formula as characters, requiring weapon XP and breakthrough materials to level and ascend respectively. You can enhance weapon effects by offering duplicates up to a maximum of rank 5, effectively doubling the effect's strength. Duplicates of characters will be translated into wavebands, which you can use to unlock their node sequences, capping out at node 6. Which brings us to the Gacha System, the place where you will obtain said wavebands, or new characters and weapons. Wuthering Waves features 4 banners: the Event Character banner, Event Weapon banner, Standard Character banner, and Standard Weapon banner. While you can still lose your 50/50 in the Event Character banner, which will reimburse your lost 50/50 with an additional 30 corals though, but more on that later, the only 5-star you can get on the Event Weapon banner is the featured weapon. On the Standard banner you can only ever obtain characters, and if you want a weapon you pull on the Standard Weapon banner. However, the Standard Weapon banner lets you actually select and choose the weapon you want to, meaning you will guaranteed obtain said weapon when pulling a 5-star. Otherwise, every 10 pulls you will be guaranteed at least 1 4-star regardless of the banner. Every 3-star weapon obtained will reward you with a few corals, and every 4 and 5-star character with 3 or 8 Afterglow corals respectively. If you already have said characters sequence nodes maxed, you will receive more Afterglow corals instead. If I remember correctly, it was like double or triple the usual amount. Corals can be exchanged in the shop for up to 18 pulls per month, or various materials, and credits and Afterglow corals can be exchanged for either more pulls or guaranteed wavebands of all standard characters and the featured character as well. However, they are very expensive and are, to be honest, more of a toy for whales than for the average free-to-play player, but you might be able to get a character or two after saving for a very long time. While talking about the shop, also let me get back to the Union level. Here you can also claim some goodies once every 5 to 10 Union levels. Nothing too major, but it is a nice touch, and a few of them also give you some pulls. I already mentioned Asterite, the premium currency of this game before, and while very prevalent in the shop, there are other ways to obtain those, be it once, daily, weekly, bi-weekly or monthly. So let's talk about those as well. Starting with the one-timers, aside from the chests, puzzles, title heritages, redeemable shops and proficiency levels I already have mentioned earlier into the video, you can claim up to 60 per day by doing some of the various tasks in the guidebook's activity. Speaking of the guidebook, once you can also claim some Union experience for each task done here, as well as some Asterite and other materials or echoes after finishing each guidebook level. And this brings us to the weekly activities. Once per week and once every 2 weeks, or also once a month, you can get some Asterite and hence pulls from the various endgame activities. So let's talk about those. As of the CBT2, there are 2 endgame activities in the game. Well, technically 3. The Tower of Adversity and the Depth of Illusive Realm. The Tower of Adversity is this game's equivalent to Genshin's Abyss. Before you are able to access the repeatable bi-weekly hazard zone, you can obtain 1800 Asterite from clearing the stable and experiment zones. Clearing any floor will reward you with deep records or drill datasets, depending on your score, which you can trade in for various materials, shiny echoes and Asterite in the shop every 2 weeks. However, the Tower of Adversity works a little bit differently than Genshin's Abyss. Each character has a total of 10 energy. Using a character on any floor will deplete some of said energy, and if it reaches 0, said character cannot be used in further floors. This will require you to have 3 teams built for the tower, or in other words 9 characters. The second endgame activity is the Depth of Illusive Realm, which is a roguelike mode, and personally I really loved it. I thought it was extremely fun to play. In this mode you can play 1 character, and only 1 character, and you will gain various enhancements, buffs and blessings throughout your run. If you have ever played Honkai Impact 3rd before, this is basically the Elysian Realm, but due to the echo mechanics it feels way cooler, to be honest. The Illusive Realm will also provide you with a currency which you can trade in for various goods once a month, yet again. And last but not least, let's also have a look at some combat tips. Some echo abilities will transform you into the respective enemy, which usually has a long animation time, rendering you unable to parry, dodge or use any other abilities. However, for most echoes you can still switch your characters, allowing you to animation cancel said echo ability, and not only dealing more damage in a shorter time frame, but also giving you back control to parry or dodge important enemies' attacks. This will especially be important when talking about the hologram bosses in Wuthering Waves, which is sort of the third endgame activity I was touching on earlier. Holograms are basically extremely buffed up versions of your regular world bosses. They unlock at Union level 27 and come in 6 difficulties. Each difficulty increases their stats, aggressiveness, and changes their movesets, making them by far the most challenging content in the game. Because of their difficulty, they only grant a small one-time reward, as not every player will be able to defeat all difficulties at once. Last but not least, let me talk about 2 more things. Well, 3 actually. Shiny floating Asterites on the Overworld, shiny echoes, and the Battlepass. Once in a while, you might come across these little things, which will reward you with a small amount of Asterite when collected. I have no idea how often they appear, what triggers those, or if they are kept to a certain amount per day, but I have been able to find up to 3 within the same day once. Speaking of shiny Asterite, let's talk about shiny echoes. The Pokemon enthusiasts may already know what that is indeed referring to. You are able to find echoes in a different color compared to their usual one. As far as testing has went during the CBT2, it seems like those always have a chance to spawn within the same place. That also means they will unfortunately not be that rare, but for all collectors, go out there, go for it. It is a cool little feature and you have a chance to getting a shiny once per day. Regarding the Battle Pass, there's honestly nothing special about it. It is very similar to all the other gacha games I've played, be it Genshin, HSR, Honkai Impact 3rd or Reverse 1999. If you think I've missed anything, please let me know in the comments. So, that has been everything and a lot. And if you sticked up until the end, I want to thank you for your time and hope this video was of help. Please leave me a comment and subscribe if you liked the video, cause that is how the YouTube algorithm works and I would highly appreciate it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Peace.